Hey everyone, if you're watching this on the playback, hi, welcome. I'm Sarah, and this is a place for people who are um, deconstructing or questioning their faith and just want a place to hang out. Hi, Autumn. Spark, hello. Hi. Hey, Lilith. I just immediately put on subscriber only mode for the comments. It seemed like that kind of day. My day was good, actually. I had a really nice day. How about you? I'm in like a slightly different position today because Ruby is lying on the floor in the spot my little table usually is. Good, I'm glad. Hey, Jimmy, thanks for watching. And believe it or not, Justin and I just recorded another one. So we'll have another episode posted tomorrow. So we're getting through it. Thanks. They're really fun to record, honestly. We have a good time. Well, I hope everyone's doing okay and had good days. Hi, Sam. If you come also for the animals or for the doggy, here's Rubes in all of her glory. She's such a big girl. Ekta, thank you so much. I really appreciate the super chat. Ekta says, I'm on a break in the middle of a stream with some other YouTubers, but wanted to swing by and say hi. Oh, thank you so much. Hello. Do you like gallery walls, like dark academia style gallery walls? I don't know what that means. Can you describe it more? Oh, Justin sent you here. Well, hey, welcome. Oh. Hi, Ellen. Oh, thanks for watching, Spark. I appreciate it. Hi, Joseph. Like just like lots of stuff on a wall like that? I mean, I think I would like that. I tend to be like, I like stuff rather than like super minimalist. Even though this looks minimalist in this little corner. Hey, Absurdist, hi. For anyone who's new, hey, welcome. This is a place for people who are deconstructing their faith or questioning their faith and just want a place to hang out, ask questions, talk about that process. Hey, Em. Oh, Rubes, goodness. Hey, Dr. Joe, so good to see you. Happy Thursday. Hello, Pezzo. Hi, Michelle. Oh yeah, Dr. Joe, I immediately did subscribers only just cuz. Yeah. Hey Tony. Oh, interesting. John says in existentialism class. What a class. We talked about how God is dead. Is that Nietzsche? Did Nietzsche say that? Yes, Mark, I bet you did. It must be so much easier. Got it. Isn't the whole thing like he didn't really mean God was dead, but like he actually sort of meant something else? I did not study Nietzsche, so I could have just heard that somewhere. Probably flip. Again, I took did I take 2 philosophy classes? And that's it. So, yeah. Don't quote me on anything. Hey, Winter. This is going to be one of those lives where you all have to watch my hair dry. Sorry in advance. Yeah, I hope all's well for you too, Michelle. Oh, interesting. Nice. Hi, Trolley. Yeah, Michelle, it'll probably be dry in another 10 minutes. Like some of it's already. Nietzsche was basically mourning the fact that religion was waning at the time and wondering what would replace it. Oh, okay. Yeah, Britt Hartley talks about that a lot. How if we don't have God anymore, something would replace it. Hi, Jackie. Oh, nice, John. Yeah, that's a good like um another word for controversial, but like a charged topic. So you probably have a lot to write about. That's cool. Replaced by social media. Hey, Dee. I always feel silly when I say your username out loud. You know, it's interesting for all of the like Phil bros who come on and want to talk philosophy. Um, One of my favorite people is this runner who's also a philosophy professor. And it's so interesting how differently she uses philosophy in her discussions compared to how it's used when people are sort of angrily using it or using it as like a just a step-by-step process to prove someone wrong. Hi, Jay. It's interesting how much quieter the chat is. I changed um, the like comments. Usually I have it like you just have to subscribe, but this time I had that you had to subscribe for 5 minutes before you could jump in. And I think it has gotten rid of a lot of people who just wanted to like jump in and say something rude and leave. Hi, Lily. Yeah, for sure, Michelle. Yeah, I know. It's definitely like we have a chill vibe for sure. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Do I have a dog? I do. Would you like to see her? Oh, just got back from singing. Well, I love that. Yeah, exactly. You do have to be committed to wait 5 minutes. Oh, wait. This is Ruby. She is snoozing. There you can see all of her. She takes up a lot of space. Bye, Ekta. Yeah, Ruby's a sweetheart. She's a really good dog. Yes, T, I can. No, she's never bit anyone. No, she's a gentle giant for sure. She's a Great Pyrenees. So she kind of looks like like an overgrown golden, but yeah. No, Amon, I haven't read that. Oh, thanks, Lily. Do you think that everything is conscious? I don't think so. Um, I like if we're defining consciousness, as like having thoughts, then no. Oh, I'm sorry, Pezzo. Do I go to church? No, I haven't in a very long time. I used to. Oh, I don't know what Vedanta philosophy is. Yeah, it's interesting, John. Like when you talk about trees, do they have consciousness? I mean, I don't think they can think thoughts, but they are very much alive and responsive to stimuli. Um, Also, right now, I'm reading this book, Braiding Sweetgrass, that is so lovely. And I would recommend this book like to anyone. But it has me thinking about like the experience of trees. Cal, hello. Yeah, for sure. Um, like what counts as consciousness or um yeah, experience. What kind of church did you grow up in? I grew up in a Presbyterian church. I I would say like it was very evangelical. No, I'm not vegan. Do you believe in a spiritual realm? I don't think so. Um, TX says, that's an idea I struggle with. We are systems within a system, and the system makes up higher consciousness, but hive mentality, how big does it get? Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. Not really, you know? Oh, what is an evangelical Christian? Um, Lily, please stop. What are you doing? It's, yep, well, there you go. You lost your last chance. Um, it is a kind of a category of Protestantism. Many denominations can be considered evangelical. There is like the perspective on salvation is you accept Jesus into your heart to be saved, and then you're saved no matter what, sort of. But it's definitely a big belief in hell. And so evangelicals are particularly evangelizing because they feel so strongly that most people, if they don't accept Jesus, are going to hell. Hey, Minutemen. Yeah, that was weird. No, I don't have any religion. Yeah, I mean, supernatural, it's certainly possible that Jesus was misunderstood. It's also possible that he was just totally misquoted, too. Oh, well, thanks, T. I appreciate it. Aman, I am not a philosopher. I think you maybe are misunderstanding what this channel is about. Good night, T. Hi, Mallory. Welcome. Oh, that's interesting, Flip. Yeah, I think Justin's perspective is that he really was a real person, and um, things kind of got out of hand. Hey, Sheila. What do you do on the channel? So this is a channel for people who are deconstructing their faith, who are maybe in the process of questioning their faith or leaving their religion. And it's just a place to connect and support and ask questions. Do you still view the 10 Commandments or the vast majority of them as moral precepts worthy of being followed? I mean, like 3 of them, maybe. Like, don't lie, steal, and cheat. Wait, cheating? Is cheating on there? I mean, there's adultery on there. But I don't lie or steal or kill. I mean, I think that's, but those are also pretty universal moral precepts. Thanks, Alan. Yes, my family is religious. Yeah, I don't know why Jesus wouldn't have written anything down. Do you follow the 10th commandment all the way? Is that don't covet your neighbor's wife? Or their other property, which is gross? But yeah, Doom, I agree that like the basics of like don't steal, don't lie, don't kill are pretty basic humanism too. Oh, well, thanks, Pezzo. No, I don't believe demons are real. No. I used to though, but I don't any longer. Oh, Sheila, and you mean when it was listing things not to covet? One of those things was slaves? Oh, I do, Winter. I don't do a whole lot with it. I think it's linked in my link tree. Yeah, I think it's in there. Well, thank you very much for the super chat, Dan. I will say we don't really make comments on appearance in this live, but thank you. Doom says, I go back and forth between whether Jesus was a real individual or if he was a combination of people or purely mythical. Yeah, I think just my current thought is that he was probably a real person that got totally mythologized after he died. That's kind of where I'm at. Yes, Andy, I do. What are your thoughts on witchcraft and occult practices? So, I don't know what counts as an occult practice. Witchcraft itself is mostly like connecting to the earth and kind of being grateful for what the earth provides. So I don't really have any issue with it. Yeah, maybe Jesus was super charismatic. You know, this is an interesting point. So, Mr. Nobody says, when I've seen stuff that would be considered otherworldly, like ghosts or something, I just automatically assume I'm crazy. I've had Christians use this to say that I would never believe no matter what, and that even if God appeared to me, I would just assume I was hallucinating. But I think it misses the bigger point that The only reason I would think I'm hallucinating is because seeing God never, ever, ever happens. But if God was here all the time, we wouldn't think we were hallucinating because it would be a normal part of life that he comes around and we see him, you know? Yeah, supernatural. I mean, I think, and the Christian church really misunderstands what witchcraft is. Oh no, it's 3:40 in the morning. Oh, I'm sorry you can't sleep. Rachel says, I look back and wonder why the Bible made God a villain and Jesus kind. Why were they so different if they were supposed to be one? Well, I think what's really challenging is most people learn about Jesus first and kind of generally learn about God before they read the Old Testament. And then you have to kind of find a way to make it work. Kind of find a way to say, oh, this God's doing some bad stuff, but I have to find a way to be okay with it. Alan says, may I ask, what do you believe? Well, I don't believe really in anything supernatural, if that answers your question. Yeah, Andy says, it amazes me so many questions read the Bible and all they see is love for some reason. They choose to ignore the horrific acts. Yeah, I mean, I do think part of that is having all of these preconceived ideas first before you even read the Bible. And then it gives you sort of these rose-colored glasses to interpret the horrible things with. Well, honestly, that's fair, Bobby. If you don't believe in demons or ghosts, would you ever try summoning a demon or stay at a place that's haunted just to find evidence? Well, I wouldn't think that there would be any evidence since I don't think that they exist. Um, like the idea of like, would you stay somewhere that's haunted? Um, I mean, I could still get creeped out by like old houses, So, sometimes the fear that we feel in the middle of the night isn't super logical, but I genuinely wouldn't think that a supernatural entity was going to come and get me. Hey, Alan. So I am not a Christian any longer, and I don't think that hell exists. Hey, Justin, welcome in. Hello, hello. Mr. Nobody says, I'd like to hope that if somehow the Bible ceased to exist, people would still be good people. I think many people would. I have been a little horrified to find how many commenters say that the only reason they are good is because God is watching. Hi, Jim. Oh, the one from The Shining. Yeah, I mean, that would still kind of freak me out, but it might be also kind of fun. JS says, as a child, I thought the flood and hell was a huge nope for God being a good guy. Well, fair enough, really. Yeah, it is 1984. Because I've had Christians ask me like, well, if you don't think God's watching, like, why don't you just do terrible things all the time? Like, because I don't want to. Would you ever go back to being Christian in the near future? No, not in the near future. I don't see it happening. But when I was a Christian, I never imagined that I'd be an atheist. So I can't predict the future. Ooh, what's the trend gonna be, JC? Oh my gosh. Accents, amazing. Yeah, I'm guessing nothing then, Kyle. Hi, Rob. Yeah, Eric, the idea of our perception, I think, can be conveniently fallible or infallible, depending on what claims are being made. No H. Mr. Nobody says, do you sometimes wonder if other people are even real, if you are real? Um, yeah, I mean, that whole kind of simulation hypothesis is definitely unnerving to think about, like we experience reality through our own perception. So is it possible that every one of our perceptions is incorrect? I mean, it's possible. Do you believe humans have souls or spirits? No, I don't think so. Oh, that's interesting, Eric. What did the Bible say about heaven? Yeah, I mean, it definitely mentions like some very material wealth based things, streets of gold, lots of gemstones, golden gates, um, and some type of housing system. If there's no afterlife, what is the purpose of life? This life. This is the purpose. Um, Being here and now is the purpose, the experiences you have, the people you get to love. That's the purpose. Yes, JC, that's the only reason. Yeah, fair question. Jim says, if there is an afterlife, what's the purpose of life, right? If there's an eternal, infinite afterlife, this life is nearly meaningless. Zeke, God wouldn't need this life to do that. Hmm. Yeah. And Mr. Nobody says, I'm glad I'm alive, even if it does suck a lot of the time. Even one or two good things in a life can make it worth it. Yeah, life can be terrible. Um, and it also can be beautiful. Um, so I agree. If you can find the beautiful things, it makes it a lot better. What do you believe is after this life? I don't think anything. I think we just cease existing. Yeah, for a lot of people, the idea of existing eternally is actually horrifying. I think it depends, person to person, but I've spoken to a lot of people who are like, no, I don't want to exist forever. I'm tired. Don't make me do this again. Oh, well, you're so welcome, Rob. I'm really glad that it's helpful. Um, well, flip, actually, I hear that a lot. That, yeah, it's just going to be like it was before you were born. Um, Supernatural says that would be scary, not existing, nothing, just pitch black. So no, I don't think you would even experience that. Um, like I think you just wouldn't experience anything. Thank you so much for the super chat, Justin. Justin says, am I the only one that thinks it's weird that only humans have souls in Christianity? Like, what's animating the animals? Well, don't many Christians believe that animals um, are essentially acting like purely on instinct? Like, they believe that animals don't have this, like, conscious of decision making, that everything is sort of, I can't think of a better word than just like instinctual. I think many Christians or some Christians believe that. Hi, Brent. Hi, Dennis. I have an FAQ playlist that will give you the whole backstory. Eventually, though, I mean, the short of it is I just stopped believing it was true. Nevermore says, do you think it's plausible that we may live again? I mean, it's possible. I don't know if I would say plausible and or likely, but I think it's possible. Thank you for the super chat again, Justin. Justin says, I've met pets smarter than some humans. Well, like, are you going to tell me that, like, this girl does not have oh, I didn't like that. I didn't like when I turned it. Sorry. But anyway, there's Ruby. Like, clearly, she has deep emotional capabilities. Why is there so much struggling and suffering in life? I mean, I think that's such a harder question if you believe in a good God. I think there's struggling because we have limited resources. You know, we nature itself is not particularly kind. Um, and that's there's not I don't think there's like a good philosophical reason. It's kind of like this is what we have, and this is the way it is, but I do think on the whole we've reduced suffering. Granted, there's still currently a lot of suffering that is happening, but um I think humans are getting a little better. Don't be gross, Rich. Zeke says, to respond to the struggle question, I think in many ways for people to struggle is Satan dragging people away from God. Why would a good God give Satan the power to do that? Honestly, Jake, I don't know much about it. Well, you're very welcome, Brent. Rook, we have rules in this live. This live is not a debate. Like, I'm not here trying to prove Christianity wrong. So if you are preaching, trying to convert other people, if you're spamming or if you're being unkind, you're going to be asked not to do that. So this is not a platform for you to preach. Supernatural says, if God is all knowing and powerful, why would he put us through suffering and struggles? I would think that a God who was all good and all knowing and all powerful could create a way for us to grow and learn and be challenged without suffering. If this God is starting from scratch, right, developing a whole brand new world, suffering wasn't required. I mean, Lal, it seems statistically likely that aliens exist. Doug, I was a Christian for 20 years and now I am not. And this live is for people who are deconstructing their faith or leaving their faith. And I have a video in my playlist that gives you that whole backstory that you can watch. Hi, Kirby. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Zeke says, if there was no suffering, how would there be challenge? So Zeke, have you ever, I don't know, done a crossword puzzle or a jigsaw puzzle or Sudoku where it was enjoyable, it was pleasurable, but it was challenging? Like suffering is not required for challenge. Yeah, Cindy says suffering and watching others suffering is what caused me to start questioning in the first place. Ozark says, what made you realize you didn't want to be a Christian anymore? Actually, for me, it wasn't that I didn't want to. I tried as hard as I could to hold on to my belief, and I was very sad to have lost it. You too, Doug. Yeah, Andy says the unnecessary suffering that this loving God wielded is insane, and I would tell her that if I ever saw him. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure most of you probably seen it already. The interview with, oh my gosh, what's his name? What is his name? He's English. He sounds very smart when he speaks. I feel like he's friends with Hugh Laurie. No, he's an actor. Anyway, there's this kind of famous interview where, someone says, no, not Hitchens, Stephen Fry. Yes, Stephen Fry. That's the guy. But yeah, he says, well, what would you ask God if you saw him? And, he says, bone cancer in children. Like, how dare you? And that's, yeah, how dare you? Mm-hmm. Sorry, Kel. Not Austin Powers. Do you believe in anything anymore? I don't believe in anything supernatural. Yes, a bit of Fry and Laurie. I thought he was friends with Hugh Laurie. Yeah, I agree, Ozark. Supernatural says, why does God never answer prayers? I thought prayers were supposed to work automatically, but it's crazy how prayers don't accept right away. It can take days or years, or maybe God is not all powerful or all knowing. When I was deconstructing, and I think it was after I stopped believing, I saw this YouTube video where someone used this great visual demonstration about prayer. And they said that Christians will say that, well, God answers every prayer. It's just that his answers are yes, no, or wait. And this person said, okay, well, I'm going to pray to this jug of milk, and this jug of milk is going to answer me. And the answers are just going to be yes, no, or wait. And so, if you pray for something to happen, if it happens, then the milk said yes. If it doesn't happen, the milk must have said no. And if it happens later, the answer must have been wait. Basically demonstrating that if you think those are the possible answers, then it's the same as if God doesn't exist at all. Right. We fail to file the necessary forms. Ah. Cute Puppy says, I don't think unnecessary suffering is an argument that gets through to Christians. They just shrug and say we live in a fallen world. I do think many Christians kind of elevate suffering, that suffering is good for us and that we need it and it's important. And, we kind of get gold stars for our suffering. No, Dennis, so many people have poured their heart out to God with tears, and he did not answer. I'm glad it worked for you, but that doesn't mean that it didn't work for many people. Yeah, I believe you, Ozark. Hi, Daniel. Milk waits for no one. That is a great tagline, Justin. Supernatural says, if Earth feels like hell because of suffering and struggling, maybe it is hell. We just don't know it. That's like The Good Place, if you've watched that show. Dennis says he may not have given the answer you wanted. Right, so we're back to the milk jug. So if I cry out to God with tears and a sincere heart, God may answer by saying, no, I'm going to allow this terrible thing to happen anyway. If God doesn't protect us from things like starvation and assaults, what's the point in asking? Why pray? I'm not any religion now. Yeah, Pezzo, I think that might be the case. Yeah, Mr. Nobody says, people argue that God makes life hard for you to make you stronger. But I say, let me be weak. I don't care. Leave me alone. That's completely fair. It's completely reasonable. And I find that argument to be so frustrating because they're positing that the only way you could get stronger is through suffering. Except there are so many types of suffering that don't make you stronger. Some types of suffering just leave you traumatized and feeling damaged or unable to be the person you used to be. There's such a difference between challenge and suffering. I don't think suffering is ever necessary. Yeah, Cindy says, my suffering has made me so weak. Supernatural says, so being an agnostic atheist is your religion? No, it's not a religion. So it doesn't meet any of the criteria for a religion. It's just a word to describe the fact that I'm not convinced a God exists. Dennis, I absolutely believe you. I believe that you have been through terrible things. And I'm very happy that you made it through those things. The problem is that about 3 million children die of starvation every single year. And so, yes, you made it through, and I'm so happy for you. But that doesn't take away from the fact that God seems to not only allow other people to suffer, but allow children to suffer to the point of death. And that's a problem. How's the bunny? Bunny's good. Uh, Very bad, Andy. I think it's very bad. Dennis, the idea that suffering is to make you cry out to him to give him control doesn't make sense if he lets children die of starvation. I'll be honest, Brent, I actually don't think I deconvert anybody. I think the great conversations that we have are often with people who are already on that path. I don't think I've ever had a conversation with a Christian who's come on here. Oh, maybe there was that one guy that one time. Justin, do you remember that one guy? But literally maybe only one, because I don't think this would be the environment that a Christian would genuinely hear what I have to say and be convinced by what I have to say. Dennis, no one is asking you to denounce God. Yeah, it also doesn't explain animal suffering. Right. Why would animals ever suffer? Hi, Jesus says, I believe in God, but sometimes believe he was invented to scare and coerce people into doing what the people in power wants you to do. Yeah, I mean, what I always say about religion is that I think religion is very powerful. It's like fire, right? So sometimes fire can be used to keep you warm and cook your food and be life-giving. And also sometimes fire can destroy everything you have. So I think religion is it's just powerful, and it can be used to do really nice and wonderful things and really terrible and awful things. No, so that supernatural, that's what I'm saying is I don't think all religions are bad. I think they can be used to do bad things, but I also think some religions have brought some good things. So no, I'm not against religion at all. Hi from Indonesia. Well, thank you, Brent. I appreciate it. Yeah, Winter says, unfortunately, I think you're right. And I know it from experience living with my mom at the moment still. I mean, that, belief, especially like a religious belief, is so resistant to change because it's so central to who you are. And your beliefs are held up by a lot of different things, most of our religious beliefs aren't just about logic, right? There's some logic, but there's also some culture and tradition and psychology and experiences, and all these things that are holding up a belief. And so even if I happen to make one great argument, I don't think that that would change a Christian's mind. Zeke, are you quoting J.R.R. Tolkien? All we have to do is decide what to do with the time that is given to us. Are you still in good relationship with your believing family? I am, actually. I feel very lucky, but I am, yes. What religion would you be more likely to explore? Probably Buddhism. I'm sorry, Joe. Is children dying of hunger your only or biggest argument against God existing? No. Oh, I should look into that one, Brent. I'm glad you still have a good relationship with your family too, Flip. Kirby says, do you believe in a higher power or just not Christianity? I don't, actually. I don't believe in any higher power. But I'm pretty agnostic about it. Like, I'm certainly open to evidence of one. I'm just not convinced that there is one. Hey, Pan Rick, good to see you. That's cool, Brent. Cute Puppy says, religions work so hard to tear that God-shaped hole into us. They ask us to deny parts of our natural self so they can sell us the fix. Man, that is my biggest one of my big frustrations with Christianity is they convince you that you are broken so that they can sell you the fix. Do you believe in karma or the notion of it? So, I do think that this idea of things kind of coming back around happens, but often just as a natural consequence of our actions. If I am kind to everyone around me, more than likely I'm going to get some kindness in return. And same thing if I'm cruel to everyone around me, I'm probably going to get some cruelty in return. But I don't know that I believe in like a supernatural force that is karma. How often do you do intermittent fasting? Never, actually. I don't ever use it. I don't think the benefits are worth it. Plus, I fasted enough as a Christian, so no more fasting for me. Actually, I eat like every 2 hours. You believe in Buddhism? No. I probably agree with some of the tenets of it, but I don't even know enough about it to say that. Supernatural says, you believe just because we can't see something doesn't mean it's not real. So it's not just about whether I can visually see something, but about, is there any evidence that it exists? So, the only possible evidence doesn't have to be visual evidence, but if you're telling me something exists, but it's also invisible, I'm going to need a little bit more evidence. Okay, I love this comment. We Are Dirt says, I'm sorry, not really. That's very honest of you. We Are Dirt. This is, I'm sorry, not really. But if you left Christianity, you were never a Christian before. Because when you turn to God and feel his love, how good it is, God bless you all. And yes, I'm a Christian. Oh, we know. Yes, we gathered. Oh, that's cool, Panrek. Did you believe in God as a relationship with the divine or a relationship with people? I'm not sure I understand what you're asking. Are you asking, did I believe God was merely a relationship between humans? Um, Amen, I don't think anything happens after we die, honestly. I think we just cease existing. Well, Isaiah, good thing that I don't lead a terrible life. In fact, my life is pretty similar in a lot of ways to when I was a Christian. Yeah, Winter, too, the idea of a benevolent God is hard because I think it only makes sense if that benevolent God is not all very powerful. Christ did talk about his relationship with God too. Okay, no one, don't mute We Are Dirt. I actually want to see if they are open to a conversation. I doubt it, but we'll try. We Are Dirt. The backlash is just people telling you maybe that either you're incorrect or you're being rude, but that's not. Um, can, do you care? Like, do you care if you're being rude to people? Um, if you walk in somewhere and you're rude to everyone and people are like, hey, stop being rude, that's not evidence that you've told the truth. That's just evidence that you've been rude. Do you know what I mean? You're not telling me the truth? Oh, you're lying to me? Thanks, Pezzo. Oh, no, Sheila, I wasn't saying that you were being rude. Supernatural says, if hell was actually a real place with fire created by God, does that make God evil? Yeah, actually, I think it does. Oh, Sheila. Okay, cool. Well, thank you, Eamon. I hope you do too. Mr. Nobody says, in the future, we're going to find out we're just a dust particle on some alien's buttock. Oh, butt crack. Oh. You know, Mr. Nobody, have you read the Kurt Vonnegut book, Sirens of Titan? Hi, John. Oh, you're good, Sheila. No worries. Aaron, if I was back in Jesus's time and I witnessed him resurrect, then yeah, I probably would believe. You're welcome. Is there anything in life that makes you think, thank God? I occasionally say that literally just out of, linguistic habit. Sometimes I'm like, I feel gratitude towards the earth, that like the earth has provided things. But I don't feel genuine gratitude towards a God because I genuinely don't think that one exists. Well, Mr. Nobody, that book is kind of like that idea. And it's where my favorite quote comes from. The purpose of life, no matter who is in control of it, is to love whoever is around to be loved. I love that quote. Isaiah, if your God was loving, he never would have created fires of hell. Where are the bunnies? I hear one hippity hopping around. Let's go find a bunny. Checkers, hi. What you doing? You want to come say hi? Oh, hello. How are you? Yeah, you having a good day? Having a good day. Yes, a good bunny. Look at your cute little paws. Oh, this is Checkers. She's very cute. Their little nose. I love these little front paws. They're so cute. Oh, that's a good bunny. Bloop. That's Checkers. Oh, and here you can get, there's Ruby in all her glory. Oh, okay. You think cats are cute? Or what? No, she does not. Ruby is living her best life. All right, so, well, we are dirt. Coming in here and just like making judgments, you're not convincing anyone. Like what you're saying is not convincing. Do you want to actually talk to us and get to know us? Or do you just want to preach and leave? Hi, oh, good morning. You're afraid of bunnies, Brent? Sorry, I'm just catching up on the comments here. Oh, I guess it is getting to be a long stream. We are dirt. What's your goal here? Like, why are you on my stream? What are you hoping for? Do you believe in narcissist? I don't know what that means. Like, do I believe narcissistic people exist? Oh boy. Yeah, Isaiah, what you're describing is someone tying you to the railroad tracks and saying, I'll let you off the railroad tracks if you just promise to love me forever. Aren't I such a good guy? I'm not asking you to prove anything to me. I'm asking, why are you here? Like, what do you want? What's your goal? I've read the entire Bible cover to cover. All right, you're clearly not capable of answering my question. Wait, your name is Tim? We are dirt. Again, we've all read the Bible. Oh, the Monty Python reference. Got it. Never mind. My bad. Oh, well, hi there, Miss Checkers. She's come to hang out on the couch. Also, I got new throw pillows. They're a fun color. Are you going to melt into a little puddle of bunny? Do you consider yourself an atheist, agnostic? I actually consider myself both. So I consider myself an agnostic atheist, meaning that I don't believe in God, but I also don't think I can ever really know for sure. Yes, that's a bunny. Yeah, Coolio says, I would just like to point out the fact that we are in fact not dirt. Indeed. Thanks, Cindy. I'm very familiar with Pascal's wager. It's a terrible argument. Checkers, you have requests. You want to say hi to your friends? There's a good bunny. What a good bunny. We're genuinely trying to get you to answer a question honestly. No one's trying to come after you. We're just trying to have a conversation. But it seems like you can't get out of this preach attack mode. It's too bad. You're curious as to why I think it's a bad argument. Pascal's wager makes two big false assumptions. One, it assumes that you can just arbitrarily choose what you'd like to believe based on a risk assessment. That doesn't sound like genuine belief at all. And the other false assumption it makes is that, Pascal's wager is creating a hypothetical situation. What if this? What if that? And yet somehow in this hypothetical situation, you're only imagining either your version of Christianity or nothing. But if we're doing this hypothetical situation of what if you're wrong, then what you have to do is look at all the religions and say, well, wouldn't it be better if I believed in every religion? Wouldn't that be a safer bet, right? Wouldn't it be better to wager all of them and then I wouldn't end up in any hell? So Weird Dirt, if you want to talk to us, just talk to us like regular people. If you just kind of yell stuff at us, it's not going to be helpful. And I hope that you can just see us as regular human beings who have read the whole Bible and are very familiar with the gospel. Like we don't need you to preach to us. We have heard it. So if you want to talk to us, that's fine. But preaching at us is not helping anyone. You're welcome, Isaiah. It was definitely not a conscious choice for me. I absolutely wanted to keep believing. I wanted to believe in God, and I was just unable to. And it was very painful to lose that. Hi from Japan. Ooh, it's getting late. I should probably call it a night. I will be live this weekend on TikTok. If you all have TikTok, please come find me over there, same handle. It's also like a better way to get a hold of me. So if you wanted to try to get a hold of me, TikTok's the way to go. I have some resources in my bio and some links in there if you want to look at recovering from religion, or I think I do have a link to my website in there, I think. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for hanging out and for a lovely conversation. And I hope you have a good night.